always tell the kids is, regardless of who they're playing, this is the only time this team is going to have this opportunity, regardless of who we're playing for that week. It's the fact that this is one opportunity that they get to fly across the country and play in an outstanding stadium against an outstanding football team. And they should look at that as a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. I know they do. I know they're excited about that opportunity. But for, way past that is just getting in the moment each and every week with their team to make sure we're preparing to do their best and enjoy it with a smile on your face.
The hard thing about these guys is you got to stay on them every single day, and they'll handle the reps the right way.
I tell the kids all the time, to me it's real easy for kids to walk in and games 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's easy to be excited for those games. Just like it's easy to start things in life, right? It's easy to start a diet, it's easy to start a new job, it's easy to do this, it's easy to do that, to kind of start whatever you want. But then you get in the middle of this thing and it's 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those games are a grind. Everything's not new. Football's a very repetitive sport. And we're walking into that point of the season where I think it's imperative that our kids understand that enjoy these moments, enjoy 5, 6, 7, 8. Then all of a sudden you get to 9, 10, 11, 12, the door starts closing. And your sense of urgency in a kid, it just naturally rises again because they know it's soon going to be over. So that's really my points for this week, is to just make sure that they know who they're playing, they understand the situation, but dang it, enjoy each other. Just enjoy the middle of the season as you go through it, because it's the second third of the season. Well, we had talked about it. We had an idea that the weather delay was a high possibility. So, we talked about it basically all week from Wednesday on, and you just need to get yourself in the mindset in preparing for football games. Whether it's the weather, a million things can take place. So you don't let it phase you. You can't let the outside things bother you or bug you in those situations. And a bus could break down. A million things can happen to you when you're preparing for a football game.
I was just thinking about the game. If they was gonna delay it, all right, cool, whatever. I got more time to chill. And then, whenever it's time to go, it's time to go. But when we went back out there and the fans went out there, I was like, dang, I hope this ain't no practice game. Like, it's gonna feel like practice with no fans.
And I thought the kids handled it very, very well. So they were up for the change. Little adversity and a small little piece of adversity right there shouldn't change how we jump out of the locker room and be ready for a game. So I thought the kids handled it well. And again, it was different, warming up to absolutely not one person in the stadium.
Tails, John Westlow heads.
We knew this was going to be a dogfight. This football game was going to be physical, regardless of the weather. It was, two offenses that, really had some success.
Sports Network. And again, sitting back, waiting for this one, number 14, Anthony Hawkins. Let's see if Eberle can boom this thing out of the back of the end zone, or if Colorado State will have a return. It is a kick that will be taken right at the goal line. And
well, my mindset, I was in a position that I always wanted to be in. I always wanted to be in a position where my team had to depend on me so I can show them my value and show them what I could bring to the table. Also, as a leader, it showed that I can't give up. You got to fight. This is a conference game, it matters. So we have to win this game no matter what.
Third down, first third down by the Aggies. Inside handoff to Bright. Bright is going to push forward and get right to the first down marker and about a half yard past it.
Well, C.G. Bright have the success he had in that game was awesome. He's worked so hard, and he's such a good leader, and he's such a great teammate, and he's such a competitor. And when you have a couple really good backs, your time will come. And we've seen this many, many times as a staff as you go through, and it was G. Bright's time. And it was awesome to see that happen. He had 36 carries, if I remember right, for 179 yards, and his longest run was 15 yards. That is just a grinder, tough man.
He kind of clotheslined me a little bit, though. It was a good tackle, man. Yeah, I heard him. It's football, man. This stuff happens. It's cool. Let's get to the next play.
Huge workload put on top of him to basically carry his football team when you're in a position to where the run game is where you're going to have your success.
You just got to get back up. You can't show no weakness out there on the field. You got to let them know that you still hungry and you want to eat.
He was ready for the moment, he had trained for the moment, and he took advantage of the moment. For Gerald Bright to be able to have that success on that stage, in that setting, in that situation, is for his senior year on homecoming, is something that I'm sure he'll never forget.
Gerald Bright on the carry.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was homecoming. When I looked at the little news thing, it was like homecoming. I'm like, dang, it was homecoming.
Gerald Bright on the handoff.
Here we go, this is going to be a dogfight. And then you put the weather on top of it, and really the inability to, in a torrential downpour for most of the game, to be able to throw the football. Your success is going to come mostly from big plays, whether it's a turnover, in our case, whether it's a punt return, a block punt for them. There was huge momentum swings in a game like that where a play makes the biggest difference in the football game, can be the winning play in the football game.
Here we go. Under center is O'Brien. Pitch to the outside. Will he get the corner? He will. Touchdown, Colorado State. That's Jalen Thomas getting to the outside and getting Colorado State on the board on the pitch. He's killing Utah State. Here comes the kickoff. Scarver wants so badly to return one, but this is not going to be one of them. Oh, never mind. He's 8 yards deep and he's bringing it out to the 10. He's got the edge. 20, 25, 30. He is gone. Here we go. 40, 35. Back to the middle of the field. 20, 15, 10, 5. There's your All-American, and there's a kickoff back for a score. No flags on the play. Savon Scarver's been dying all year to take one back, and he brought it to the house.
He was 8 yards
kickoff
deep?
return to me was, he brought it back from, it was deep. I couldn't see from where I was how deep it was. I didn't know it was 7 yards deep, but my first thought was, why is he taking this out of the end zone? And then about 3 seconds later, I said that was a great decision. But Savon makes great decisions, number one. Number two, he's coached to make great decisions with Coach Collins. And he has a good feel of, it's not just how deep the ball is, it's kind of how fast the ball gets to you. In other words, how high was the ball? He was coached all week to make a decision. He made that decision, and again, he doesn't make selfish decisions back there. He makes good decisions back there. And he's tremendous. He's extremely gifted. A game that's tight, is that tight, that highly contested, and you throw the weather on top of it. Again, there's a play here, a play there. And the fact of the matter is we beat him by 10 points, and we had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and Woody grabbed the ball out of the guy's hands and scored a touchdown, and we kicked a 48, 49-yard field goal in horrible weather.
Hold is down. Kick is up, certainly long enough, and it is good.
I don't think anybody on our sideline had much of an angle, other than the crowd was the one that probably let us know. Those people down there in the north end zone went crazy, or in the south end zone, I suppose, went crazy.
Well, they are singling up those receivers to the outside. Motion man to the near. Hand off to Kinsey. Kinsey is hit at the line, but spins out of it. And he'll try to push forward and go to the 9. Ripped out of his hands into the end zone. David Woodward's got a score. David Woodward stood up Kinsey. No whistle.
This one was our whole defense was pretty much on that tackle if you watch it. And everyone did a great job of holding up for long enough for me to get it out. So I just saw him getting held up, and he was just still slowly gaining a couple of yards. And I knew that I was like the fourth man in, so I had a chance to just try to strip it and make a play.
And that gave us a pretty good idea that something was going on that was in our favor. But I didn't have a good view of it all. Even on the Jumbotron, you couldn't really see it on the replay. But you see it on tape, and it's a tremendous play. You see it on the TV copy. It's a big-time play by a very, very talented young man in Woody. This was a very, very physical football game on both sides of the football, offense and defense. And it's just imperative that kids are always reminded to take care of themselves. Enjoy the win, make smart decisions when you have a win, and make sure that you're making the decisions that will allow you to continue to grow and develop as an athlete and as a student. And that requires getting yourself to sleep at a decent time. That requires you making sure you're putting the fuel in your body to allow you to be able to recover and get back where you need to be and get into the training room. And sometimes those habits it's not a normalcy for kids. They kind of think they're indestructible at times, and I think those little simple reminders are helpful to them to make sure that they're in this moment right now, and they need to enjoy every step of the football season. But don't forget how fast it goes. We're almost halfway through this thing as far as the regular season goes, and I want them to make sure that they realize that yes, I do care about them, and I want them to be able to make the decisions that allow them to continue to progress and have their best chances to be successful.
We didn't play well, so it's a good football team, obviously in LSU, and see what goes for them the rest of the year, but they were a very good football team. Story of the game was basically, third downs on both sides. You got to win third downs. We got stomped in both areas, offense and defense, on third downs. So
things we could have done better, get stops on third downs. We had a lot of missed tackles. I mean, our Jones drop's got to be a little bit better, but I mean, we could build off this game and watch the film and see where we could improve. So.
Kids were excited to play, and I think they showed that with their emotion, their fight, and their grit, and they battled.
And every one of us got to look at themselves and see what each person has to do better.
Our MO is to get some mojo going and get some plays stacked on each other and try to wear them out, but that's it didn't happen today. There's you saw it, you watched the game. They're a very, very good football team, and they do a lot of things on offense to cause you problems. And the check game that they had today is kind of a chess match, and you try to get into the best call you can. And I thought we continue to try to get that done on defense. And offensively, we were just basically non-functional. We couldn't function. So that's what you get when you walk into a number 5 team in the country and we're ranked where they're at. A tremendous group of players, and you know what? We have a tremendous group of players too. So. Quite frankly, I'm more worried about our guys and getting ourselves where we need to be and come back and fight again.
My name is Mike Williams. I'm the Director of Sports Performance at Utah State University. I oversee all of the sports medicine for our student athletes. Well, I have a staff of 6 full-time athletic trainers plus myself, and then we have a physical therapist, we have our team doctors, I have 6 graduate students and 2 athletic training residents. What we do is anything preventative with injuries, we take care of that. So bracing, taping, getting practice prep ready. Somebody gets hurt and goes down on the field, we're the ones that go out and get them, and then we're the ones that facilitate all of their rehab. So in most cases, we actually see the rehab from beginning to end. So we're the ones that see these kids from the time they hit the ground with an injury to the time we get them back out on the field after a recovery.
My name is John Garcia. I'm an assistant athletic trainer with football. What a great group of kids that we work with. It's just incredible the amount of dedication and loyalty they have to this program, to Coach A, and even to us. We ask them to do something. They're in here every day getting better. If they're hurt, really trying, or even then, some people that aren't hurt coming in to make themselves in a position where they won't get hurt. So the amount that they give me motivates me to push harder and help them get better.
You got 100 guys and it's a collision sport and the time demands on them. Most of our sports have a full-time athletic trainer that works with them. A lot of it for me is, one, if I saw the injury and I know kind of what it is or the general body part, it really determines on what you do when you first get there. If the player's moving, as I'm running, I'm evaluating. So I'm looking at it, okay, are they moving? Are they grabbing their knee? Are they grabbing their ankle? Are they laying there? And I'm like, oh, they're unconscious. It really depends. If they're grabbing their ankle, you'll get out, you'll stabilize that. But if they're unconscious, you're going to go right to the head and you're going to stabilize that. So when I'm running out there, that's my whole thought process is, what are they doing? What are they grabbing? Are they moving? Are they not moving? That kind of helps you with the evaluation process with.
Actually, the first thing I think is, come on, get up. And after that, if they don't get up, like, it's really assessing the situation, making sure the environment's safe before I go over there, running up to them, and most of the time you'll see us, one of us will take, like, if it's a limb or anything, but almost always you'll see one of us go to the head. And I'll always go up to the head and kind of talk to him, get him to, so most of the time when people get hurt, they're very anxious in that moment. So, like, understanding when I have to flip that switch, it's serious, we got to get this kid medical attention. What do we have to do?
A lot of the stuff that has really changed from my standpoint is the athletes, they understand that they deserve quality care, and they actually are really good about coming in, and there's the tough it out mentality, and especially, you know, the history and the status of concussions right now. It's no longer, you just suck it up and play through it. The NCAA has made changes that have really helped as far as number of contact practices that you can have, and coaches have gotten smarter from that standpoint. Like right now with Coach Anderson, we don't beat him up because we need him on game day, and if that means we need to back him out on Tuesday to have him on Saturday, that's the smart thing to do. It's better for the athlete, it's better for the program, and it's what we need to do. I don't know that the kids are softer nowadays than they used to. The game is probably making things a little bit softer, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the kids are softer.
Most every kid that walks through the door, I know everybody's name, and really try to, like, get to know their stories and, like, really get to help them as much as I can. Because like what it comes down to, it's helping them do what they want to do.
The nastiest one I've seen, we had a kid actually from Tremont down at the Days of 47 rodeo several years ago that he took a horn to the face, and he had multiple surgeries after that. And I was there, I was the first one off the chutes to get to him. That was significant. We had to put him on the ambulance and send him away right away. He was in surgery, I don't know, 8-9 hours that night, and has had multiple surgeries since then. And he's actually back riding again.
When I was at NC State, I've had one instance where a player on the visiting side went to sudden cardiac arrest, and having to kind of go through that process, getting an AED on them, getting them to the hospital. Thankfully, the kid is alive now.
Again, when I started 20 years ago, it was the protocols were, if you get a ding, you know, you get hit, you see the stars, whatever, everything clears up, you can go back in. But over the years, we've just learned so much more about concussions, and the way we treat them is different.
Concussions are like one of the bigger ones that you see the most often. I mean, it happens. It's football. It's a game where you put a helmet on, you go hit the other person.
Some of them, like a hamstring, in a lot of cases, coaches will notice that you're slower. You know, there's so much tape. Or will notice, hey, you know, he's limping when he comes off, or they'll grab it. As much as they try to hide it, they do have a tendency to grab things if it's sore. So you can, yes, you can hide certain injuries. I mean, you can hide a concussion. If you get dinged and you see stars and you don't tell us, we don't know. Again, our coaches they are more of, we would rather get that better. If you got a tweak, let's treat it and let's get it better. So a lot of the players aren't afraid to come in because we will take care of them and put their health and well-being first.
You really don't want to send someone back too soon from a concussion, because if they have another concussion on top of that, a second impact syndrome, it could potentially be fatal.
So if you have the signs and the symptoms and the mechanism, so if you fall down, hit your head, or you run into somebody, hit your head, all of a sudden you see stars, whatever, then you're done for the day and you've got to be evaluated by a medical professional. So we do baseline testing with every student athlete that comes in. They run through a series of tests, of questions, some balance testing, and a symptoms checklist. And then if they get a concussion, we run them through that same battery of tests and do the same questions and the symptom checklist, and we compare them, and they have to return to that baseline before we let them go back in. You know, we actually have a great relationship with our strength coaches, and they're there, and I meet with them, and I meet with our physical therapist every Monday during the season. In the off season, it is a little bit harder, but so just because somebody's hurt and they can't do the conditioning that we're doing that day, doesn't mean they can't do something. We have pools here, we have bikes, we can put them in the pool and do different workouts. So but we can also not give them a choice, you're out, you know, and that's, sometimes we have to do that. So it's reining them in just by saying you're done, sit down. There are times when it does get emotional. In the moment of initially evaluating an injury, you're just so focused on what's going on, you don't put into that. It's later when you're working with them that it can get a little bit emotional.
It's so special just because you feel like everyone is together. And that's not just the coaches and the players. Like, I feel like I'm with them. I feel like I'm helping them, and they know that. Like, equipment, they feel like equipment is helping them, and they know that. Everybody, we all have one purpose, is to help us achieve our goal and ultimately win. So like, that's something that I've felt in other places, but like here it's just different. Like it's a great thing. It's a great environment to be in.
Are two things that we harp on consistently. So if we get back late on a Saturday, like actually Sunday morning, it really depends on the coach. And with us, Coach Anderson has been, okay, we're going light Monday because we didn't get back. And if we have an early morning workout on Monday, a lot of times they'll cancel that so that you can get get your body clock back to where it needs to be. So sleep is a big thing for student athletes, and they need to get 8-9 hours sleep at night at least.
Utah itself is beautiful. Like, I've never been in a place like this. Like over back east, we think we have mountains there, but then we come over here and there are mountains. But